We're going to talk about ways of creating small little micro lectures. So one of the things that we have been thinking a lot about is what the student experience is going to be like on Monday. And one area of concern is just that they might be spending a lot of time staring at Zoom meetings all day. And so we're really interested in thinking about ways that we could make that experience more engaging, or even just kind of break up learning into smaller chunks. So that students have opportunity maybe to learn a concept, apply a concept, talk about it, ask questions, and just kind of make things a little bit more interactive. And so one of the ways that we're thinking about that is just through these micro lectures. So things that might be 5 minutes long that you can post online that are just super focused on a particular topic. Students can watch. They don't have to be all at the same place at the same time to watch it, and then they can use that as kind of a jumping off point to some other kind of activity. So there are a couple things that I want to talk about with that. And the first is just kind of an assumption that you probably have, if this is something that interests you, you probably have a lot of PowerPoint presentations or existing slides that you might want to continue to reuse. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I want this one. And we're going to get rid of this for a minute. And we're going to take a look at a PowerPoint presentation that I just made on parrots. It's really, really short. It has a little title slide, has a little quote about parrots, has a slide that we might make with some bullet points with maybe some kind of an illustration or figure, and then it has a video. So I had this sitting on my computer. I used it last semester in my course, and now I want to use it in my course this semester. So to do that, the easiest way for me to make use of this is by just recording my screen. So on Windows computers, there is a really, really handy application called Screencast-O-Matic. Grab my keyboard. And it is screencast-o-matic.com. And let me go ahead and drop that into the chat really quick. There you go. So this is a really, really easy to use application. There is a free version available for it that allows you to record up to 15 minutes. If you do need to record more than 15 minutes, pricing on it is fairly reasonable. $50 for the month or for the year. And then you have access to kind of this upgraded version that lets you do a few more things, record longer videos, things like that. But I really just want to use kind of the free version of this because we're just recording really short videos. So I don't need anything more. I don't even really need to come in and create an account. All I want to do is create some videos. So I'm going to choose this option that says start recording for free. It's going to drop me over to this other screen. And I'm going to choose this option that says launch free recorder. And so it's going to do something kind of interesting. It's going to sit here, and sometimes this takes a minute. It's going to sit here and it's going to say launching recorder. And then it's going to ask me to open Screen Recorder Launcher version 2.0. Now, the first time that you use Screencast-O-Matic, it's going to tell you to download this little application and start it. But it's going to walk you entirely through the process. I already have it installed, so I'm going to choose this option that says open Screen Recorder Launcher version 2.0. It's going to think about that for a second. And then this little screen is going to pop up. And these little dashed lines represent the area on your screen that you're going to record. So in my case, I actually want to go ahead and record the full screen. So in this little record window that's popped up, I'm going to come down to size, and I'm just going to choose full screen. The next thing that I'm going to do is click on narration, and I'm going to click this, and I'm going to make sure that my microphone is selected. So if I have a microphone on my laptop, or if there's a microphone on your webcam like there is on mine, you want to come into this and go ahead and select that to make sure that your microphone is selected. And then it brings this up, and you just want to make sure that you're getting a little bit of a signal here. If you need to, you can adjust the volume a little bit. And we're going to hit OK. So we have set our size to full screen. We've set our microphone for our narration. We can choose to record the screen by itself, which is just the screen. We can choose to record a webcam. And I don't know how this is going to work, so my webcam's already working right now. But ordinarily, your picture would show up here. So if you just wanted a recording of yourself talking to students, you could choose webcam. Or this option that's kind of interesting, which is to record both. And when you choose both, you're going to be down here in the lower right corner. So you just want to click that option there. Your picture of you is going to be down here in that corner. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and record my screen. And I'm just going to choose this record button right here, this bright red button that says record. It's going to count me down. It's going to start. Now, it doesn't really matter if I'm ready or not, because I'm going to take some time. I'm going to switch over to my PowerPoint. I'm going to make sure I'm back here on the start of it. And then I'm going to throw PowerPoint into presentation mode, just like I was presenting in class. And from now, what it's doing is it's actually just recording me walking through my presentation. So I can deliver a presentation now just like I'm in class. Just go ahead and flip through it, talk about this quote, talk about my bullet points, show my video, do everything that you are used to doing in class. I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. So to stop it, I can go ahead and escape out of PowerPoint, just like I usually do. We're going to come back to the screen recorder button down here in the bottom left corner. I'm going to hit pause, and then I'm going to hit done. Now it gives me a couple options. It asks me if I want to save or upload my video, or it asks me if I want to edit the video. So the edit video is for users that pay that $48 and want to do some additional work. In my case, I'm just using the free one. So we're going to choose Save Upload. It looks like this. And it gives me a little bit of editing that I can do. So you remember, I wasn't really panicked about when I wanted to start my presentation or not. So I want to go ahead and drag that left side over. And I want to find the point where that presentation starts. So right about there. And then I want to find the point where the presentation ends by dragging in this end. It's not really showing me very well. So we're going to put it right about there. And then I can come in and I can say save as video file. So we're going to click that option. It's going to bring up a few different options for us here. The only thing that I would really pay attention to is maybe turning highlight cursor off, just so it's no cursor. Typically, if you're doing a PowerPoint, we don't need to see the cursor floating around. So we're going to set that to no cursor. And then I'm going to choose publish. And by default, it's going to save it to your desktop. File name is going to be recording number 7. We'll just hit publish. I'm just going to sit there and think about it. And we're done. So I can go ahead and clear. It's going to advertise itself. We'll get rid of that. We'll close down my PowerPoint. And then over here on my desktop, I have recording number 7 all ready to go. Obviously, you can rename that, whatever you want to do with it. But you can take this file, and now you can upload that straight into Canvas. You can upload it to YouTube if that's what you're using. We have a brand new video platform on campus just today called Panopto that you'll probably see within your Canvas course. You can upload it there. So you have these options now to take this video and post them online within Canvas. So it's all ready to go. So pretty easy process, right? Mode, just like I was presenting in class. And from now, what it's doing is it's like, all right, so any questions about that? So one of the questions that I had in the earlier workshop was, why would I do that when I can use Zoom? And I think that's a perfectly legitimate question. I think the video quality with this, the audio quality is going to be a little bit better than you'll find within Zoom. In some ways, it's simpler than what you might find with Zoom. But if you're comfortable with Zoom and you just want to drop into a Zoom meeting by yourself and do a a recording that way, you can definitely do that, and you'll get very similar results. But what I'm really interested in is, well, how do we take this and do something maybe a little bit more interesting with it? So I wanted to introduce this other application called Adobe Spark. And to get to it, you want to go to spark.adobe.com. And the nice thing about Spark for us, oh no, we'll see if we can get it open. If not, our tutorial got a little bit shorter. Here we go. Nice thing about Spark for us is that if you have a university email address, you can sign up for it for free. So you just need to go to spark.adobe.com. I'll go ahead and drop that link into the chat for you. And Spark is this super easy to use tool for creating three things. It lets you create graphics, it lets you create videos, and it lets you create websites. So I like to use it for video. So once you're logged into Spark, we're going to choose this option called Create a Project. We're going to scroll down to video. And then it's going to go ahead and ask me, what do I want to name my video? So I want to name mine Introduction to Parrots. We're going to hit Next. It gives you a couple different options here. I can choose to use an existing template. So maybe you're interested in this sort of teach a lesson template, or we can start from scratch. Now, the reason you would want to choose one of these is because it gives you some slides, it gives you some placeholders to start with. But in my case, I'm used to building presentations. I have a sense of where I want to go with my presentation. So we're going to choose this option, Start from Scratch. Gives us a little quick tip there. We're going to close that out. And this is what you're going to find when you open it up for the very first time. You're going to have a blank slide. You're going to have a credit slide. And then you're going to have this little outro that says you made it with Spark. You can't get rid of that unless you pay for it. But credit slide you can turn off if you want. But this first slide is where we want to start building out our presentation. So I'm going to come into this slide. I'm going to go over to Layout, and I have a few options over here. I can choose to make a full screen slide that might have a full screen video or a photo. I can have a slide with a caption, so maybe I have some kind of a graphic and I want to go ahead and put like a little subtitle on it, a little caption explaining what it is. Or I can do title and text. So traditional slide with a title and bullet points, I'm going to go ahead and use title and text. In this case, I have the title for my presentation, and so I want to go ahead and choose split screen for this, just to make it look kind of interesting. Over here, I'm going to click the little plus button, and we're going to add text. And then I'm going to come over to this side, and I want to add a graphic. I want to add an image, so we're going to choose plus. I can add a video, I can add a photo, or I can add an icon. I want to go ahead and add a photo. One of the nice things about Spark is that it has this built-in search engine for free photos. So I can come in, choose Find Free Photos, search for parrot. It'll go out and find some eventually. And then I can go ahead and drop in whatever picture I want. If I click on this little pencil icon, it gives me a way to zoom in and out. So I might want to zoom out a little bit so we can see it fully. And then I can basically go through the process of building out my presentation. I can go ahead and add in additional slides with title and text. If I want to provide an intro for my presentation, I want to add my voice to it. I can come in and I can click and hold this little microphone button. So I hold this down, I can say, welcome to Introduction to Parrots. Today we're going to talk all about parrots. And it's going to record me, and then it's going to go ahead and adjust the duration of the slide to match the length of that recording. We can come in, add another slide. In this case, I just want to add some text up here for diet. And I can go ahead and fill that in. I can add a full screen photo if I'd like. So I had a photo on my computer that I want to use. So I just want to choose photo, upload photo, come over to my presentation, and I'm going to use this one. It's going to go ahead and add it in. Same thing. I can mouse over the pencil, zoom it out a little bit so we can see it. All along, I can click and hold this and say, okay, on this slide, we're looking at a picture of a parrot. Do your explanation there. I can go ahead and add another slide, and in this case, add a video. So we saw that video that I had in my PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. Click open. It's going to open a little interface that looks like this. And this is a lot like what we just saw in Screencast-O-Matic, where you could decide where it ends and you can decide where it ends. This is like a 30-second clip. Maybe I just want a few seconds of this clip, so we're going to go ahead and adjust it that way. Hit save. Spark's going to sit here and think about it for a second, and then it's going to go ahead and drop that video right into my slide. So there's my video. Again, I can come in and I can record some narration over the top of that. So if I wanted to explain what's happening in this video, it gives me the option to do that. So now I'm kind of thinking that this is done. This is a pretty good presentation, so I want to go ahead and publish it. There's a few more things that I might want to look at. So one is I can come in and I can play with some themes. It doesn't give you a lot of themes, but it gives you some different options for how you want your presentation to look. So I can have it look like that. I could do something like this. I could do something like this. Change colors if I want. A lot of different things that you can use just to kind of vary the design. And all of these designs are just kind of in place. So you don't have to sit there and think about, well, what font should I use? What color should I use? It's all going to match together. The fonts work together. Kind of makes a lot of those decisions for you. And then the last thing that I might want to do is I want to come in and maybe add a little bit of music to it. You don't have to. You can definitely come in and turn the music off. But if you wanted to make it a little bit more interesting with some music, you could come in and preview some of these songs that are built into it. I think that's a great song to explain parrots to. So we're going to go ahead and choose that one. And now when I preview my presentation, so I hold this down, I can say, welcome to Introduction to Parrots. Today we're going to talk all about parrots. And it's going to hold this and say, okay, on this slide, we're looking at a picture of a parrot. So really nicely polished presentation without a whole lot of work. From here, we're going to go to download. At least I think I'm going to go to download. Let me refresh it. Yeah, Dr. Summers, we're going to write some of this down. I know it's pretty fast. And we're going to choose download here. You don't have to think anything about what format do I put it in, settings, things like that. It's just going to give you a .mp4 file. Same exact story as with our recording out of Screencast-O-Matic. You could take that video, it's going to give me here in a second. You can upload that into Canvas. You can upload that into Panopto that I just talked about. You can upload it to YouTube. You're just going to get a video file on your computer that you can use. So I hold this down, I can say. Any questions about that? I know it was a really, really fast walkthrough. Okay, so where it gets kind of interesting is rather than having to start over, I can also come into PowerPoint and I can say, you know what, I like these slides. I don't really want to go in and redo them, but I want an easy way to drop them in. Betsy, we'll have some directions up online. If I come to File and Save As, I can actually come into these options here and choose .png instead of .ppt like we would usually use, just .png. We'll hit Save, and I can choose to export all of my slides or just the slide that I'm on. So I'm going to choose all slides. And PowerPoint is actually going to take those slides and it's going to export those out as images. So now I can come back in, I can take those images, I can add a slide within Adobe Spark, I can choose photo, I can upload photos, and I can go find one of the photos that I want to use and I can drop it in. So now I can come in, I can hold down my microphone, I can record my narration over the top of this, and I get the benefit of using my existing PowerPoint slides without having to redesign them. So really easy way of kind of combining the two and giving you the ability to add some narration to your slides. You could actually do the same thing with that video file that we just created. So we started out the workshop with a recording of that PowerPoint. We could take that PowerPoint and we could add it to Spark if we wanted to. So maybe I just want to use Spark to add a title slide, maybe an end slide, maybe some of that music if I choose to use it. We can go ahead and use that video recording as something that we can add within Spark. So just adding a new slide, choosing video, finding my recording from PowerPoint, and now it's dropped into place within Spark, within my Spark presentation. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I know that was a whirlwind tour of how to do little mini lectures, but I did want to stop and just kind of make sure that there aren't any questions. And if there are, please ask. So to create a Spark account, if you go to, let me share my screen once again. If you go to spark.adobe.com, and I'm going to log out when it loads eventually. So, I'm going to sign out. You just want to look for this button at the very top that says Start Now. And it's going to ask you if you're a teacher or a student. So you want to choose the Login with School account. And this kind of confused me when I saw it earlier because it kind of looks like it's asking you to log in and you might not have an account. But go ahead and just put your email address in when it pops up. I'm sorry, it's so slow. So right here, go ahead and put your email address in. Continue. It's going to ask you for a password, and it'll walk you through that process of getting all signed up with it. So that's how you would sign up. Other questions I can answer? Okay, well, I wanted to give you a couple things before we leave. The first is a website. So that website is the place where we're basically putting all of our information about teaching starting on Monday. So anything related to technologies that you might use, we have information up about the continuity plans that you need to create for the provost. There's some guidance up there about how to do those. We have some information on how to communicate with students on Monday. So it's a great place to go check for resources and information about what you are going to be tasked to do starting on Monday. And finally, I wanted to make sure that you all have our email address. I know you've probably seen it again and again over the past few weeks, but we're at oi2@utexas.edu. Like I told the group before, we're probably spending about 90% of our time answering emails these days. So I think it's what our semester is going to look like is just responding to emails, and it's what we love to do. So feel free to shoot us an email at oi2@utexas.edu. If you'd like, we can schedule a time just to meet with you on Zoom and talk through what we just talked about today. If you want a more personalized, maybe slower walkthrough of how to do that, we're happy to do that. If you have any other teaching concern, any other technology concern that we can help you with as well, just shoot us an email and we're here to help you. Otherwise, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover today. If you have any other questions, let me know. But otherwise, I think that's going to conclude for today. So thank you all for coming.